Yay.
Hey, you guys. We are just jumping on live. I'm going to make sure everything's good to go and we'll get it going. Will someone tag me in the Tribe United Step Up to Leadership training group that you can hear us and that we're live? You're not going to be able to see me tonight. This is Brandy Bots, by the way. Hello. You're not going to be able to see me because I decided that hanging with my boys was more important than showering tonight. So, and I'm filling in for Andrea Crowder, so her little daughter could go be at a cheer thing tonight. So I'm excited that they got to do that and be present with their daughter. So someone tag me real quick and let me know that you can hear me. Okay, Amanda. Sweet. Thank you, Amanda Arnwine. AA. Thank you.
Hi, Amanda Arline. I know you.
You know her? Yeah.
Of course. She was in one of my events. She attended one of my live events. She was in one of my groups. What's up, girl?
Okay, sweet. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well,
I'm thinking about.
yeah, I think so. Probably so. She's a good friend of mine. But anyways, you guys, we're going to get this week kick-started. I kind of wanted to kick off with a couple of things just to kind of get you guys' brain thinking about some things. The first thing that I wanted to mention was a huge thank you to Josh Coates for being on these last 2 weeks. I don't know if he's going to pop in here or not, but Josh did absolutely incredible. Like, seriously lit a fire under my booty, and I know so many of you guys as well. So it was great to kick off with him. But what I love about tonight is, like, it's a completely different topic, and I'm so excited for Rachel to get to share here in a little bit. But before we let Rachel jump on, I'm going to introduce her in a second. But I wanted to remind you guys that we're ending January. We've got about 6 days left of this month. And to really start pushing, for your final Success Club goals. So those weekly goals that Josh was talking about, like, have you been really accountable to those? Are you really holding true to those weekly goals? Because that's going to get you to your monthly goals. And our monthly goals are going to get us to our quarterly goals, and so on and so on. So I don't know if you guys have picked up the book, The 12-Week Year, but I started reading that, and good Lord, like, that completely changed my mindset again, because I was on that annual mindset, like, oh, I've got these annual goals, but I'm like, oh, it's so far off. I've got plenty of time to hit it. And then you get to the end of the year and you're like, holy crap. You have to kind of, really get it together at the end of the year. Kind of like Success Club. We wait till the end of the month. Why not treat it like it's the end of the month every single week and grow your business beyond average? So number one thing is reminder about Success Club. Get yourself to Success Club, non-negotiable. It's only 2 all access challenge pack sales. 2 people helped this month, and you're going to have that in the bag. Plus, you need to reach out to those coaches on your team and make sure that they are doing this too. You guys run a group together, a challenge group together, whatever you have to do, get that done. The next thing is the Team Cup is coming up in February. So if you have not gotten on a Team Cup, please do that. Like, seriously, if you are serious about being a leader in this business, it calls stepping up during these times and really rallying our teams during these push months. And if we don't start February off with a bang, it's going to affect the rest of your year with volume and your team and your leadership. So make sure that you get a team in order. And the most beautiful thing, like, I just found this out, that Carl Deichler is doing a $1,000 Pimp Your Gym contest. Like, $1,000 he's giving away to 20 diamond and below coaches that are the top challenge pack sales in February. So it's the top all access challenge pack sales in the month of February. So if you're diamond and below, or if you have coaches that are diamond and below, like, you should be all on that. Like, $1,000 to completely do, your at-home gym. Like, I would give anything for that. Like, I want him to pimp my gym. I'm like, I want to be a diamond and below coach. So you guys definitely spread the word on that and get your teams registered for the Team Cup. I'll be posting something in our leadership group here later to get your team names and who's on your team, because I want to know where our leaders at. The next thing is with the All Access Challenge Pack, you guys. What I am kind of doing is I'm reaching out to all of my past customers. So anybody that has ever bought a challenge pack for me over the last 5 years, like, I'm reaching out to them to let them know about this All Access Challenge Pack. The next thing is making sure that you're letting all of your friends know as well. And if you guys get a do not answer or a no, or I don't have enough money, what I am doing is I'm saying, hey, you know what? We have the 30-day bod trial. I would love for you to at least get going with me and get to working out. And do you think that you could save the $199 by the end of February and we can get you going then? So again, this is the final push, you know, for the All Access Pass. It goes away at the end of February for the $199. So make sure you guys are really driving this home. Reach out to anybody and everybody, and there really should be no. Like, you should at least get them set up with the trial offer and testing out the workouts so that way they can get set up with the Challenge Pack later that month. So anyways, you guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of reiterate before we get started tonight. I just want to make sure that you got the info on what's going on in Beachbody world, you know, for the next month. But anyways, I'm so pumped tonight to have Rachel Luna on. You guys probably all know who this chick is. If you are not following her on Facebook, please go and do that. It's Rachel Luna. And honestly, I love following this girl. I have the honor of knowing her personally. Like, she's actually my business coach and has been for the last couple of months. I consider her a dear friend, but I kind of got introduced to her probably last year from Andrea Crowder. And just the way she drops bombs and speaks absolute truth from a place of love, like not from a place of like she's better than you. She actually comes from a place of love and like wanting you to be your best self and reach to your highest self. And so it's a really beautiful thing. But you know, when I was introduced to her, I was like, I have to work with that girl. You know, like, I need some of that in my life, because we all, like, even as coaches and leaders, like, we need coaches too, right? Like, we need someone to kind of keep us accountable and to help us be our best, because we cannot just be coaching everybody all the time and not expect to grow ourselves. That's something as leaders, I'm sure Rachel will touch on that, you have to be constantly growing. But anyway, she is a best-selling author. She runs, you know, so many amazing, I think, Rachel, you're going to be doing some group coaching here soon, right?
Yes, I am. By popular demand, I've had a lot of requests from a lot of Beachbody coaches, actually. So I'm creating a special Beachbody centric, so very Beachbody focused coaching group that, you know, if any of you are interested, I can talk about that with you more offline. But just so many people have been wanting to work with me. And Brandy, you know, my one-on-one coaching is a premium. Yeah. So I wanted to do something where I could, like, just pour into all of you and sort of meet you where you're at. So I'm really excited about that, because I have such a heart for Beachbody coaches. So
yeah, no, for sure, you guys. But anyway, she's been such a gift for me, and so we're so excited to have her on tonight. So I'm just pretty much going to let her take it away. She kind of does her thing. And Rachel, you just want to take it away, girl?
All right. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen, and let me know if you see my slides. Do you see my slides, Brandy?
Yes.
Now, if I put it in presentation mode, can you still see it?
Yep, it's perfect.
Oh, sweet. All right. Now, do you still see me also?
No.
No, you just see me. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I knew what you guys are seeing. So anyway, my name is Rachel Luna, like Brandy said, and I have to say that she did me such a beautiful favor to speak so highly of me, but I really had been wanting to work with Brandy, so I think it was just serendipitous that the timing worked out. And I love working with her, and I'm really, really honored to be here with you tonight, because we're going to be talking about two of my favorite things, confidence and leadership. And I have to tell you, I was super, super nervous to present tonight, because I didn't know where you all were in your business. I didn't know what you were looking for. I didn't know exactly what you needed. And so I hope that what I have for you today is a punch that lands for some of you. And then next week, we're going to talk a little bit of a continuation. However, at the end, I'll be asking you some really powerful questions to help guide next week's lesson. Now, before I go into the lesson, I'm going to brag about myself for just a little bit, not to be braggadocious, but just to give you that warm and fuzzy feeling of why the heck should I listen to this girl? As Brandy said, I am a best-selling author. My book is called Successful People Are Full of Crap: Courage, Resilience, Authenticity, Perseverance. And it's a step-by-step guide to getting it together and achieving your dreams. And I probably should have had a little picture pop up there on my screen, but Oopsie, I didn't. I'm a former U.S. Marine. I spent 10 years in the United States Marine Corps, which I loved. And I have been a certified professional life coach for 10 years. This October will be 10 years. I've clocked in more than 10,000 hours of coaching. So I just want you to know that I am very qualified to share with you. Above and beyond that, I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Management from Penn State. And as if that weren't enough, I actually have proof that I get results. I've been featured in Latina Magazine, the Huffington Post. I've been on tour with Tori Johnson from Good Morning America. I've been in Success Magazine, and this is just a few. This is an image I already had made, but there are a few other entrepreneur.com, a couple other publications. And the next two slides, you're gonna see some praise from some clients' husbands. If any of you know Lindsay Weiss, she's from the Phoenix Market Council. Hal wrote this beautiful testimonial talking about how Lindsay investing and working with me was one of the best things that they could have done for their business. And oh, by the way, they doubled their income in the time that we worked together. Leslie just sent me a message on Twitter. She just says she just loves me. Petite DJ listens to a video series that I have called the Confident Mindset Masterclass, and she had an amazing shift. Deirdre raised her rates by 20%, and she's been booked like nonstop. A couple more from you. If any of you know Blair Dreesen, she is a Misfit Republic coach. And if you look on the screen, you can see that when she started working with me in June of 2014, or excuse me, in August of 2014, her income that June was $2,934. And 1 year later, in July of 2015, her income had more than doubled to $9,538 a month. And she credits this to working with me. And then, of course, Brandy Botts, who was just there, said a lot of nice things about me, but she's already said that, so that's enough brag. I just want you to get a sense that when I teach you today, I'm not teaching you theory. I'm not teaching you things that I read out of a book and thought, oh, this sounds good. I am teaching you things that I know without a shadow of a doubt work. And I need you to understand that. The stuff that I'm going to teach you today, some of you are going to say, oh, this is so basic. I know this. And if you start to think that during any one of my slides, let me just let you know, kudos, big up, congratulations. But let me ask you, are you doing it? Because it is one thing to know what to do and a completely different other thing to actually go out there and show up and do it. And I've worked with so many, I can't even count how many coaches I've had the honor of working with who will say the same thing. I know the 3 vital behaviors. I know what I need to do, but I just can't do it. So hopefully today I will inspire you to actually take action on the things you know. So let's get into it. Now, Josh spoke last week about growing yourself and hitting these goals. And I just wanted to piggyback on that because before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is all about growing others. And that's a quote by Jack Welch. Now, I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm going to give it away. I am not going to talk very much today about growing others. And I'm not going to talk very much today about leading others because I know it is one thing to show up, but then you're wondering, like, how are you going to lead people? Really, the question is, how are you going to lead yourself first? And I want to make sure that before we go into big time strategies of leading other people and getting them to follow you and your message, you are right. Are you where you need to be? So let's talk about the 4 key changes that impact leadership. And take notes if you want to. If you have questions, I definitely am going to leave time for Q&A. Put it in the chat and I will check in and follow along. But I want to make sure that you understand that there are 4 key changes you need to make to impact your leadership ability. Number 1 is clarity. Getting clear on who you are, who your target coach is, who your target challenger is, what you want, what your core message is. What are you all about? More importantly, what do they need? if you're not crystal clear about those things, well, no wonder you're struggling. And I'm not saying that each and every one of you on the call are struggling. So let me take a step back. I don't have that much ego to say like, I have all the answers and you know nothing, because that is definitely not the case. I don't have all the answers, but this I know for sure, is that if you are not clear in these core elements, then everything is going to feel like a chore. You are going to be swimming upstream. You're going to be up this steep hill that feels like you're never going to get to the top. Like you can't see the top because there's no clarity on that. The second key change that impacts leadership is decisiveness. And not just can you make a decision, but can you make a decision and stick with it for the long term? Can you be consistent? Can you really own that decision, that which you say you want? And I think that these first two areas are where people get tripped up the most. But then what I see them do is I see them try to skip these two changes, getting more clear, getting decisive. And they think to themselves, well, if I just had systems, if I were just more organized, if I had a schedule, then everything would fall into place. And I want to tell you right now, no, that's backwards. Look at the hierarchy. Clarity, decisiveness, systems. Systems is number 3 on the list. Because you cannot create a system, you cannot create smooth processes, you can't have automation if you're not clear and decisive about what you want and what you're going to do. Please let me know in the comments if any of this is hitting home, if this is resonating, because I want to make sure that I am speaking to you and I'm meeting you where you're at. And then finally, we talk about communication. And being able to effectively communicate is such a crucial element to enrolling others in your business. Now, this is something that if I hear from popular demand, right, if this is something that you guys really want to get into, then we can talk about enrolling others in your vision and really layering in that communication. But the fact of the matter is that in order for you to get people to join you, you have to communicate a clear vision. Whether that's a challenge group, whether that's someone seeing your vision and building a business with you as a partner and a co-creator. It's all about how you are communicating. And I want to give you a little hint right here. You need to communicate in every individual's personal language. We all speak different languages. If any of you follow the personality traits, you might have heard of Myers-Briggs. You may have heard of Danny Johnson's GEMS. Excuse me, my words are failing me right now. I know that Josh uses the animals metaphor. Even to describe personality types, we're talking in different languages. So that's going to be critical. But first, it's about clarity and decisiveness. So let's move on. And if you have questions, Brandy, will you let me know if like questions are coming in and if we need to pause or something's not landing?
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
Okay, cool. Because I can't see the questions while I'm in presentation mode, but I'm happy to jump in if we need to. All right, so in order to help you go through these key changes that impact leadership, first we have to look at the mistakes that leaders make. And I'm going to share a couple of mistakes, and then I'm going to show you the solutions to the mistakes. Now, I want you to hear me again. These are the mistakes that we as leaders, and I count myself in this, all right? I've been there, so I get it. But we as leaders make these mistakes. And my goal today is to help you fix it so that moving forward, you're not going to be making these mistakes anymore. You're going to feel less overwhelmed. You're going to feel more clarity, more confidence, and you are going to feel empowered to lead other people. You're not going to feel like a fraud anymore. When it's your turn to lead a group coaching call or a training session, or when it's your turn to present the business opportunity, you're going to feel like I've got this. So the first mistake that leaders make is that they bring in the wrong people to the party. Now, I get it. It's great. It sounds like such a good idea, right? Like, let's just invite everybody to the party. Let's just get as many people as we can into our group. Let's get as many coaches signed up. But that is a huge mistake. And the reason, I advanced by mistake. The reason that that's a big mistake is because if you bring everyone to the party, then you're going to have this like hodgepodge of people that don't have much in common. And so it's going to be segregated. There's going to be a lot of cliques. For some of you who have bigger teams, you may have already seen this happening in your downline, where there's cliques and pockets of people forming. Why? Because you brought the wrong people. You didn't bring people together for a common good. We're going to get into this a little more. So I'm just going to lay out the mistakes first, okay? The next mistake, as I said, and as I've sort of been drilling in on you, is not being clear in your vision, your mission, and or your communication. So I would just love to know, by show of hands, how many of you have a clear vision and or mission statement for your team? So I'm actually going to suspend the my presentation, and I'm going to pop over here and look to see if okay, great. So a lot of you are saying that that this is resonating, but does anyone just give me a yes or no? If you are a yes, I'd love for you to say or share with me your vision and your mission statement. So put that, okay, Heather says, I have a mission statement. Drop it in. Lauren, okay, you all have vision statements, vision or mission statements. If you do, I would love for you to drop it in the comments, because for those of you that don't have a mission statement or don't have a vision, then perhaps this will help stimulate some ideas for you. So get those going in the chat. I have a mission statement. No. Okay, if you have a mission statement, share it. Okay, to inspire people who inspire other people. I like it. Carrie Ann, we can go deeper with that mission. Let's see. I would love to know how to go about, right? No, okay, no mission statement, I don't. So Carrie Ann, I'm gonna use Carrie Ann's as an example here, because she says her mission is to inspire people who inspire other people. Can we get more specific, Carrie? Can we get a little more, a little clearer? How many people? Because you might inspire one person today who inspires another person, and then that's it, and then your mission is done. Can you say, I want to inspire 100,000 people? I want to inspire 10,000 people this year. I don't know. I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers. And when you say who inspire other people to do what? I could be inspired to walk around naked, right? And sometimes I do feel inspired to do that when I see people running around and skinny dipping in a lake. I think, oh, well, that sounds like fun. To inspire people who inspire other people to do what? Let's get clearer. Now, do you see how I mentioned previously, and I hope that the slides are cooperating with me, but do you see how I mentioned in this slide that they're not being clear in their vision, mission, and or communication? So Carrie Ann, I'm just picking on you, and thank you so much for being so brave and letting me sort of dissect this. But do you see how you're not 100% super clear on that vision? Brandy, is my background noise a little loud? I'm in my co-work space, and apparently it's Taco Tuesday tonight, and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I do hear a little bit of stuff going back there, but it's, yeah, it's a little loud.
Jeez. All right, let me see if I can like sort of muffle my, is this a little better? If I talk like this?
Yeah.
All right, so I apologize. Usually this place is like the quietest place on the planet, and apparently everyone and their mother decided to work late tonight. Anyway, so Amanda says to inspire and empower women to live healthier lives by example, so they find victory in every area of their life. That's beautiful. Darby says, build an empire you can be proud of, teach others to do the same. But what does be proud of really mean? And what kind of an empire, Darby? And teach others how to do the same. How? Do you see? Do you guys? I hope that this is landing. Where I am pushing you, I want you to fill in those gaps. So Audrey says to help moms find their inner spark through fitness, health, and support. Beautiful. Empowering women to create a lifestyle of freedom with passion, purpose, and fun. Okay, go deeper. Empowering women to create a lifestyle of freedom. What does freedom mean, right? So I wanted to just share that with you so that we get an idea of what having a clarity in your vision and your mission is all about. Going deeper, really fully expressing. Okay, let's go on. Another mistake leaders make is, hello, not stepping up as a leader. And I gotta say, this one gives me the giggles because I talk to people and they're like, but I'm doing everything. I'm showing up and I'm doing everything and they're not doing anything. Really? Are you inviting every single day? Are you hitting Success Club, or are you just strolling through the Facebook feed? Are you doing the things that you're telling them to do? Are you showing up with energy and enthusiasm and passion every single day? Because you, as the leader, set the tempo. If you show up to a team call exhausted and demotivated, that energy is being drilled into your team. If you show up as a leader without a clear vision, without a guideline, without a challenge for your team members, how the heck do you expect them to manifest that? I mean, you might get lucky and you might have some Brandy Bottses and Mindy Wenders on your team, but those are the unicorns. You get that? Those are the above average people. Not everybody is cut from that cloth. Now, if you want to be a Brandy Botts, if you want to be a Melanie Mitro or a Lindsay Matway, then you need to step up your game yesterday. So let's keep moving. The final mistake that leaders make is not trusting themselves or their team members. And this all comes down to confidence. Now, I'm going to give you a little secret tip here. The reason that you don't trust yourself, if this is the mistake that you're making, and let me let you know if you are someone who doesn't really fully trust themselves. If you are someone who week after week creates a beautiful plan and says, I'm going to get this done this week, and you spend time mapping things out, and then the week comes and goes and you don't get it done, you don't trust yourself. If you have these great ideas of these freemiums or opt-ins or whatever you want to call them, your lead magnets to get people to join your challenge groups, and you put it out there maybe once, but you're not consistent and you don't really go out after people, or maybe you don't even get the lead magnet done, you don't trust yourself. If you say this week or this month, I'm going to hit Success Club, and you don't hit Success Club, you don't trust yourself. Now, I can already feel someone saying, of course I trust myself, but it's all these other factors. It's not. It's not all these other factors. It's your own mindset. It's your limiting negative automatic beliefs that are coming in like a thief in the night to shut you down. And so let me just cut to the chase, right? Trusting yourself comes from getting small wins every single day, which I know is a little contradictory to what Josh shared with you, but I'm going to tie it in. Yeah, you set a small if you haven't been hitting any goals at all, you have to start with a small goal because you need a series of victories. Now, I'm a little bit nerdy when it comes to brain power. So let me explain to you. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can see my face. This is something I like to call the bounce back. So can you guys see me? Hey? All right, cool. So this is something I like to call the bounce back. And I encourage you, if you're doing your sneak peeks or what is coaching, and I'm doing this so that I muffle out as much as I can of that background noise. But if you're doing these sneak peeks or webinars, it's a great idea to do a bounce back where the audience gets to see your face. When they see your face, when they get to see your smile, when they see you making eye contact, it instantly creates know, like, and trust factor. It gives credibility to what you're saying. So you're not just hiding behind the slide. So that's just a little relationship building technique there. But let's go ahead and talk about not trusting yourself and these small victories that I'm talking about. So if you are someone who hasn't been hitting the goal, right? You haven't been hitting the target. You need small victories because our brain is conditioned for pattern. There are these little neural pathways in our brain that help dictate our action steps. And some of these action steps are so preconditioned, we don't even realize that it's happening. So for example, can you think of a time where you've been driving home from work or from wherever, and you get home and you're like, oh, how did I get home? Like, I don't even remember the drive. That is because your brain already has created a neural pathway. It knows the directions that you need to go. It's automatic. You don't have to think about it. it's preconditioned and programmed. So that's a positive effect of a neural pathway. However, there's a negative effect, and that negative neural pathway comes into play when you don't show up for yourself. So if every single month for the last 6 months you haven't hit Success Club and you are not creating small victories and small wins for yourself, then guess what? Your brain is now conditioned that no matter what we do, we're not going to hit Success Club. Does this make sense? I want to pop over really quickly to see. Does that make sense? Did that land for you? Do you understand how having a small victory? And so let me give you an example. One of my clients, her small victory for the week was to wake up every single day, 5 out of 7 days at least, at 5:30 in the morning. And if she were able to wake up 5 days out of 7, then she created a new neural pathway that is conditioning herself for victory. Now, once you've conditioned yourself for some victory from small victories, then you can go ahead and do the big, hairy, scary goals, right? Then you go ahead and challenge yourself. Now, for the slackers out there, because I just feel like someone has just given themselves permission to discount everything that Josh said last week about like going all in and going big and going hard. I'm not co-signing on that permission slip you've just written for yourself. If you've had victories, if you've been winning in some way or capacity, I want you to raise the bar. This small victories technique that I'm giving, it's for those of you that feel like you've been in a slump with your business, like nothing you do is landing. So good, you guys are getting it. That's resonating. I need to get back to this mentality. Okay, cool. And do you understand? Just someone tell me that, yes, you understand. I'm not saying don't go for big goals, because I am a go big or go home girl. But I want to make sure that in the pursuit of these large goals, you are building the foundation and the pavement for these small victories to support you. All right, cool. So now we can move forward. We'll get back into the slides. All right, so, one more mistake, sorry. Getting distracted by shiny objects and forgetting the basics. Now, for the record, the only reason you get distracted by shiny objects is because you don't have clarity and you haven't made the critical decision to make a plan and stick with it for that quarter. And I'm a big fan of the 90-Day Year by Todd Herman. I'm a big fan of the 12-week year, that book. It's all the same philosophy. But here's the real truth. If you have an action plan and a strategy that you are rock solid on, you're not going to get distracted by shiny objects, and you're not going to forget the basics, because you know and understand that the basics are going to get you to where you want to go in terms of implementing this plan that you've already decided on. So if you suffer from shiny object syndrome, you are someone who is indecisive, who is unclear, and who has not conditioned themselves for the small victory of being able to do what you say you're going to do. Let me take a step back on this whole not trusting ourselves. The other reason we don't trust ourselves is because we are comfortable with letting ourselves down. Here's what I mean by that. You have 1 hour, one free hour a night. And in that hour, you've decided, I'm going to get my power hour done. But then someone comes, a good friend who you love dearly, and they say, I really need your help to get such and such ready for tomorrow, and I'm on such a time crunch. Can you please, please, please help me? And you don't want to let your friend, who's such a great friend, down. So what do? You put your power hour on the back burner and you show up for someone else. Because you at some point have decided that it's selfish of you to chase what you want. That in order for you to be a good human being and to really be someone who has a servant's heart, you have to drop everything and be there for everyone and be everything to everyone. And you know what? That is an exhausting life to live. And that's why you don't trust yourself. Because you know that when it really counts, you're going to let yourself down. You've conditioned yourself to let yourself down. So my challenge to you is to raise your self-trust factor. And that means that if you have dedicated 7 to 8 p.m. to your power hour, nothing short of someone having an extreme emergency. And when we talk about extreme emergency, I'm talking about you're about to get a divorce. Your husband or wife or partner has said, if you don't get off the computer right now, I'm leaving you. Your child or significant other or loved one is bleeding and it constitutes going to the emergency room. Those are legit emergencies. Unless there's some legit emergency, you have the courage, the honor, and integrity to step up and say, I'm sorry, I love you, but I made this commitment to myself that from 7 to 8 o'clock tonight, I am going to do my power hour. And if I have time and if I feel up for it afterwards, then yes, definitely, I will be happy to help you. But until then, I have to show up for my dream. I have to show up for my vision. I have to show up for my mission because that's how important it is to me. And I promise you, friend and husband and wife and partner and spouse, that as I'm doing this, you're going to see how this is going to positively impact your life too. So give me this hour because it's important to me. I want that to land for somebody. This is your challenge. If you want to be a real leader, you need to first be a leader to yourself. You need to step up your game within yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to get other people to follow you. Let me take that back. You might get them to follow you, but they won't stay with you. You might get them in the car, but they are not going to drive across the country, right? They're going to get away. They're going to get off somewhere like 25 minutes into this 10-day drive. All right. So we talked about the mistakes of getting distracted by shiny objects and forgetting the basics. So let me give you the solutions. Before I go into solutions, do we have any questions? If you have questions, throw them in there. Okay, reality check, it landed. Okay, beautiful. Great. I'm glad that this is resonating for you. If there's questions, I want you to throw them in there since I don't. Okay, Jessica Moss says, this is so hard for me. Jessica Moss, at some point, you decided that you're not good enough. At some point, you gave your power and your dreams. And I'm talking about to every Jessica Moss that's watching right now, not just the Jessica Moss that admitted how hard this is for her. This is for every Jessica Moss out there. At some point, you have decided that you are not important enough. At some point, you decided that what you want doesn't matter as much as what other people want. And I will tell you right now that we don't get visions and dreams and that feeling of there's something more, I'm meant to do something bigger. That doesn't get planted in you if you haven't already been blessed and favored to be able to bring that about. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to use the word God, but you can supplement whoever you believe in, right? But God doesn't plant a dream in your soul that wasn't yours to fulfill. So if you're not stepping in to fulfill that, all you're doing is telling God and the universe or source or whoever you believe in that, hey, you picked the wrong girl. You picked the wrong guy. And I don't really think that the higher power that created this entire universe got it wrong. Do you? Just check yourself for a second. All right, question. Is it okay to delegate things so we can get ish done? Hell yeah, Carrie Ann Wiley. I mean, double yes, triple scoop on yes. Please delegate the small things. You should be delegating the things that do not generate income for you. Delegate the things that you, can you guys see me? Because I'm getting into it. You need to see my mannerisms when I get excited about this. So hell yes, you should be delegating anything that you personally cannot do. And let me rephrase that. There are some things that only you can do, right? Like this call right now. Only I can facilitate this call as Rachel Luna. I can't have my assistant. I could give my assistant all the slides and she could read them to you, but she's not going to deliver the message the way that I can. So I can't delegate this. But could I delegate to my assistant, hey, here's my notes, create 20 slides for my presentation tonight? Hell yeah, I can. Because I shouldn't be spending my time creating slides. I should be spending my time creating content that is going to drive that nail home. I should be creating content that is going to inspire you to do something, right? So if it's, I like to call it the $1,000 an hour content or creation steps. Is it a $5 an hour action? Is it a $10 an hour action? Is it a $100 an hour action? Anything that is below a $50 an hour action, because I think $50 is about the average that you get on a commission for a challenge pack, right? Somebody let me know. Anything less than that should be delegated. Creating posts for Pinterest or taking your posts and uploading them to Pinterest, somebody else should be doing that. Your zone of genius should be in inviting people and enrolling them into your mission and your vision and getting them into your team and getting them to see what's possible for them, because that's your secret sauce, right? If your secret sauce as a Beachbody coach is in creating these meal plans that get people to lose their belly fat, then that's where your energy should be spent. Okay, next question. For small wins, do you recommend weekly ones like waking up on time example, or is that too small? That's a beautiful small win, Katrina, because if you can commit to yourself to waking up at a certain time every single morning, and you can do that consistently every day. Now, I'm glad you brought this question up because I forgot a critical layer to this. Every day that you wake up on time, you need to celebrate in that moment. And you need to really prop yourself up like, yes, I am amazing. I'm slaying this challenge. I am showing up. I'm so valuable. So you're affirming and you're anchoring in the positive behavior with the positive experience. And then let's say it's 5 days a week. When you hit your 5-day-a-week goal, you need to go out and celebrate and do something really, really freaking awesome so that your brain anchors in that when I do things for myself, when I show up for myself, when I am consistent, I am rewarded. Great question. All right, let me see. Okay. So Heather says, I have no clue how to put me first. We'll get into that. Let me get back into the slides because I want to make sure that I give you the solutions. There we go. I am screen sharing. Here we go. Solutions. Take notes. Now, again, none of this is rocket science. None of this is impossible. Somebody is going to say, I know this. I'm doing this. It's still not working. If any of what I'm about to show you are things that you're doing, but they're not working, I want you to check your attitude. I want you to check your energy. I want you to check your passion and enthusiasm, because those things make a difference. Like, energy is always flowing. Like right now, even through the computer screen right now, we are exchanging energy. And I can tell you right now that there's someone who's watching whose stomach is in knots. And if that's you, can you please just put in the comments, that's me, my stomach is in knots? Because I know this, okay? I can feel your energy. I'm so curious. I want to, if I know that there's somebody on this call right now whose stomach is in knots. So if that's you, just put that confirmation, because I want to show you that this energy, even not being in the same room, even being thousands of miles away, is transferable. It is it's an exchange. We are constantly exchanging energy back and forth, which is so important that when I come before you, I am on a high vibration because I want you to join me on this high vibration. When you approach leadership, when you approach your team, you have to be buzzing with energy and enthusiasm and passion so that you can get them where they need to be. Because the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy. And that is one of my favorite quotes by Brendon Burchard. I'm going to quick pop over and see, did someone, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. So it's not just one. There's two people who have knots in their stomach. How the heck did I know that? That wasn't an educated guess, people. FYI, that was not an educated guess. That is because I'm an empath and intuitive, and I can actually pick up energy. And you all have that opportunity. You can all pick up people's different energies. I'm just a little more in tune, but that just proves my point that energy is transferable. So enough energy talk. Let's talk about solutions. Real talk. Now, that first mistake, let's go back to the first mistake, is bringing the wrong people to the party, right? So the solution is focusing on the 70%. So let me tell you what that means. A 70%er can build up to operate at 100% capacity. But a 30% person, so this is someone who only comes to you 30% with their head in the game. They can only build up to 70%. The only way a 30%er will ever get to be 100% is with a lot of time and effort and training on your behalf and on their behalf. You don't want 30%ers, excuse me. You do not want 30%ers coming to your party. You want A players, 70%ers or above. So that is your solution to bringing the wrong people to the party. Focus on the 70%. Focus on the people. When we're talking about leadership, focus on that 70% of your team that is actually, to the people on your team that are actually showing up at 70% or higher. If they're at 69%, you need to stop investing time in them. If they're at 69.5%, you need to stop investing time.
Rachel, I've got a question.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you mean by 70%? Like, if they're showing up and giving 70% effort?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen, you decide on that metric. You decide on where the 70% starts for you, because this is your time that you're pouring into someone. So, and let me give you a personal example. And my business is different. However, oh, there was a little echo. Okay, that went away. Cool. Sorry about that. So for example, within my team, I'm at a place where I can only bring in A players. And I cannot even work with 70%ers. They have to be at 95%. And the way that my metric for 95% is if they can do a set amount of tasks without guidance from me, where they only need me 5% out of the month to make decisions. That's my metric. What is your 70%? Could 70% be that they're showing up for every call, that they're posting, that they're sending you their daily trackers? Maybe. Could 70%? Hello? Oh, I'm hearing it. Uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, it went away. That's weird. So you have to decide on the metric of what the 70% is. But when you are working with people, if they are not showing up to you, and the way that you know, here's a good litmus test. If you dread getting on the phone with someone, they're not at 70% or above. If you dread having to reach out to a particular person on your team, that person is not operating at the minimal 70%. And you can't help someone who's working below that capacity range to get them where you want them to be and where I know you need them to be to fulfill your business, your business goals. Now, so you're going to focus on the 70%ers, and then you're going to give 100% of your effort into bringing in new people. Well, that math doesn't make sense, Rachel. How can I give 100% to bringing in new people and also give 100% to my 70%? Well, that comes with, and let me stop sharing my screen for a second, just so this can land for you. That ability to sort of split yourself and give 100% to your 70%ers and 100% to bringing in new people, that comes from knowing when you are working on which activities in your business. That comes with being very clear and strategic about your weekly plans. Does that make sense? Because if you know, and I'm a big fan of batching my days. I have theme days. Mondays are my writing days. Tuesdays are my coaching calls, such as this one. Wednesdays are my wild card days where I get to do whatever feels fun. Thursdays are more coaching calls. Fridays are another freebie day. Yes, I pretty much just work 3 days a week. It wasn't always like that. You got to build up to that. But in order to build up to that, you have to trust yourself. You have to show up for yourself. You have to believe that your goals and dreams are so important that you're willing to let other people down so that you don't let yourself down. I'm going to put a little muffle here because these rowdy folks outside. All right, so the way that you can navigate this 100% and 100% is by being clear and focused and strategic on when you are working with those people. And when those people have your time, they really have your time, right? Like, I'm here with you. You really have my time. My phone is right here, but I could guarantee you right now, this thing could be blowing up. And I'm not answering the phone because I'm here with you, because I've committed to that. So you have my 100. So you have to decide when you are giving your
Rachel,
100. Yeah.
I stopped hearing you for a second. You might be unplugged.
I'm unplugged.
You're good now. It just cut out for a second, so I wanted to make sure.
Ooh. What was the last part you heard?
Just like you were really here with us or whatever, and it kind of just cut out briefly. Yeah.
Right. So you have to then decide, who am I with today? And do they have my 100%? Does my business have my 100%? That's true leadership. That's showing up. That's stepping up your A game. That is really leading by example, which is such a huge principle that we lived by in the Marine Corps. All right, so let's go on to the next solution. The solution to the lack of clarity. So this is simple. Decide what you want and then tell your team repeatedly. Now, I know someone just got tripped up completely, like, that's my problem, Rachel. I can't decide what I want. I want so many things. Decide what you want for this quarter. That's it. Just this quarter, and commit to that. And the reason why I say commit to 1 quarter, to 90 days, is because 90 days is plenty of time for you to create patterns of consistency, for you to operate in habit. 90 days is enough time for you to decide if you like the actions that you're taking. And if in those 90 days you decide, wait a minute, this isn't for me, then you can revamp the plan. Then you can come up with new metrics and new benchmarks. But you have to commit to something for enough period of time where you can get some feedback, where you can actually get some data. Like, you're not going to get any data from 1 week, right? Like, have you ever gone from 10 pounds overweight to ripped abs in 1 week healthfully? I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible, but really, is it likely? No, it's not. So decide what you want for the next 90 days. And so here's your call to action within this group, in the chat. Tell me what you have decided that you want to accomplish as a leader and with your team in the next 90 days. Is it that you and all of your active coaches are hitting Success Club? Is it that you are recruiting and bringing in 5 new coaches a month? Or 10 new challengers a month? What is it that you want? Is it a revenue goal? Do you want to bring in $500 a month consistently for the next three months? Put whatever dollar amount you want. Somebody might be like, $500, that's nothing. Okay, maybe you want to bring in $5,000. I don't know. What do you want? And then tell your team. Maybe it's you want to help 6 people lose 5 pounds. Brilliant. Who are those 10 people? How are you going to do it? Make that decision. That's where the strategy comes. Once you make a decision, creating a strategy plan is simple. That's child's play. But deciding what you want and sticking to it, like, that is the challenge. And then tell your team repeatedly. And the reason why I say repeatedly is because people need to hear things 7 to 12 times before it actually registers that, oh, this might be a good idea. That's why you see commercials run the same commercial ad over and over and over again, because they know you weren't paying attention the first time. Some of you are going to have to go back and listen to this call and Josh's call and all the other calls a couple of times before anything we've said hits home with you. Repetition is the key. Consistency creates the compound effect. And then once you've decided what you want, host a team meeting and reverse engineer the plan together. Now, why do I stress together? Because when people feel that they were part of something, they have a more vested interest in it. They have a bigger vested interest. If I'm part of the planning committee, I want to see that the plans come to fruition. So one of the things that my team tells me all the time is like, we love when we have team meetings. I did a survey with my team, not a survey, but like a little climate survey, right? Where we just had a meeting and I sat there and I just asked them, like, tell me everything that I'm doing wrong for you. Tell me where I'm not showing up. Tell me what I'm doing right. Like, just really lay it out on the table. And the number one answer that they gave me, and the thing that they kept harping on, was, when you give us a plan, it makes us feel really good because we have direction. And because you let us work on the plan with you, it makes us feel satisfied when the plans actually come together. Isn't that crazy? All they want is a plan and a little bit of input. And if they had some input, and if they knew what we were working on, it was easier for them to get their job done. This is so basic. And yet, it's something that so many of us don't do. Are you approaching your team meetings as an actual business where there's an agenda, there's a challenge, there's an action plan, where every single person on that call knows what their marching orders are for the week and they know what they have to do and there's no confusion? Just want you to think about that. Think about your last team meeting, your last call. How productive was it? Or did you go through some training and they said, all right, guys, well, thanks for coming to the call. See you next week. Or did you actually say, hey, Susanna, do you know what you're doing this week? What's your action plan? And how does your action plan help us with the big team vision? How does your action plan get us closer to being an elite team? When you give people ownership, it's incredible the way that they will rise up. Why? Because we don't want to let other people down. I just said it, right? So if you give them ownership and you tell them how important this is, they're not going to want to let you down. Okay. Now, the solution to not stepping up as a leader. So first of all, if you're not stepping up as a leader, it might look like, and don't even look at the screen right now because there's a lot of words. Avert your eyes and just listen. As a matter of fact, let me stop sharing because there's a lot of words on that screen right now. And I know I look ridiculous because I'm trying to muffle the sound.
Rachel, what is going on over there?
I mean,
looks like you're in the rain or something.
No, I'm and the that like this place is always sound, which is why I was like, oh, night.
No, I love it. Keep going, girl.
Okay, so, and I noticed the echo comes on when you unmute yourself, Brandy. That's weird. All right, anyway, so listen, but you see, I'm here with you guys. I'm committed. I'm committed to delivering this content to you by any means necessary. And I'm not afraid to look like a silly butt with my coat over my head, right? I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm not afraid to look like a fool. A leader is not afraid to look like a fool. If you're scared of looking like a fool, you don't want the things that you say you want. You probably don't even deserve them, but that's for another day. So here's how you're not stepping up as a leader. You're being wishy-washy. You're letting other people make decisions for you. You're trying to be too much of a supportive friend. Who's guilty of being that? Like, I wanted to feel like a family and I want to be their friend and I just want us to all get along. And you're afraid to tell your team to like get moving. You're afraid to tell them, hey, you're not showing up. And because you're not showing up for me, I'm about ready to stop showing up for you. What do you want to do? Let me know right now. And then when you call someone out, you have to speak vision into them, just so you know. You can't just call people out and tell them how wrong they are without inspiring them to be better. So when you say like, hey, you're not showing up for me, and I'm tempted to stop showing up for you. And let me tell you why I keep showing up for you. Because I see the potential in you. And I see that you have the capability to do these things that you say that you want, but you're not showing up for yourself. So give me a reason of why I should keep showing up for you. Because I want to. But if you don't show up for yourself, I'm going to have to walk away, much as it pains me. Have you had a conversation like that? If you're not having a conversation like that, that might be why you are having the lackluster results in your team. So let me give you a solution. Let me give you 3 steps to the solution, I should say. So let me pull up my slides. I tell you what, it's actually very cozy in here right now. How do I stop? Okay, there we go, share. All right, so here are your 3 steps. Number 1, you have to decide, again with that decision making, remember we talked about clarity and decisiveness. The first 2 steps, that's all I really want to drive home with you, clarity and decisiveness as a leader. How do you want your team, your operation, your business to run? Are there daily or weekly meetings? How often are you checking in with your team members? Or really, how often are you expecting them to check in with you? If you're chasing people, something is wrong. Your team should be so excited to get things done that they are excited to brag back to you. Like they want to come and tell you like, oh, Stephanie, look what I did this week. Brandy, I'm so excited. I slayed this week. But if you're like, hey, Jenna, where you at, girl? Where you been? Something is off. Now, granted, sometimes life happens to people and you don't have to do those check-in calls, but you know something's working in your team and in your business when your team is excited to jump into your Facebook group and share their wins. That's when you know that there's synergy. That's when you know that you are creating a system and that you're building an empire that one day you'll be able to actually walk away from for an entire month and not worry that people didn't hit Success Club and your rank dropped and all these crazy things that you're stressing over right now. The second thing is you have to stop trying to be everyone's best friend. You're hurting everyone by not talking straight and giving them the tough love where it's needed. Because you have to remember that your team chose to join you. They chose you. And it's your job as a leader to remind them why they chose you, why they joined with you, why they saw the potential in this business. And sometimes that comes with some harsh talk. Now, I don't know if any of you have a best friend, but I have a best friend. Well, I have a couple best friends, but this one best friend that I'm thinking of in particular, she is the first to tell me, oh, best friend, you need to like go back to bed and take a shower or do something. You have an attitude today and your energy's off. She's the first person to tell me, you're not doing your best work. What's wrong? And I'm grateful for that. Because if she's calling me out, well then crap, I know I need to get my game on. You have to call people out. It's for their good. And we don't call people out because we want to be hurtful. When I have real talk conversations with my clients, I always tell them, well, first of all, I ask them, how are you feeling today? Are you ready for a hard truth with Rachel moment? And they say yes. And then I say, okay, brace for impact, because here I come. And then I tell them about themselves. And then I speak life back into them. And I remind them why they hired me. And I always tell them, it's okay for you to be mad at me. And it is okay for you to hang up the phone feeling pissed. That's why you pay me. But can you walk off this call being better? Can you walk off this call determined to beat your personal best? Because that's all I care about. That you beat your personal best. You don't have to hit Success Club 5. If you've been hitting Success Club 0, could you at least hit Success Club 2? Because that's beating your personal best. Let me meet you where you're at. But giving them that tough love. and actually Stephanie Chico is a great example. Like Stephanie Chico gives tough love in the sweetest, most nurturing way I've ever seen. But it's very clear that she's just schooled you. So you don't have to come with an attitude. You can very lovingly say, I love you. You're not working to your potential. You're not stepping up the way that you need to. And here's why you signed up to do it. Are you going to do it? Or do I need to step away? There was no attitude there. I said it with love. I said it calmly. I said it gently. But I got the point across. And that is critical in knowing your people and knowing the language that they speak. Because some of my clients love it when I get all up in their you know what. And I tell them all about themselves and I drop the F-bomb all of a sudden. Andrea Crowder, by the way, I know she's on. She loves it when I just curse her out. Then I have other clients who I can't talk to them like that, but I still have to call them out. All right. Number 3 is be the boss you know you want to be, right? So that means treat your business as a business. Brandy, did you unmute yourself? That's weird. All right. So treat your business as a business. Set up official work hours and only respond during those work hours. Now, let me take a quick little side here. I had someone say, I don't want work hours because I don't want to be committed to a schedule. You don't have to schedule work hours consistently every single day of every single week and non-negotiable and never changes, but you can put out a daily post. Hey team, today I'm available to take your calls and questions from 1 to 2 p.m. Anything after that, I'll get to it tomorrow. You're the boss. You step up. You set the tone. If you don't set the tone, then no one will follow the structure. All right, if there's questions, throw them in. I'm going to keep going. Here's another solution to not trusting yourself. I already gave you the core, the key basic, which is creating those small victories for yourself. But a critical element to the solution to getting over this whole not trusting yourself is to get comfortable with failure. And I can't tell you how many people don't want to fail, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Like, if you're not failing at least once a week, you're not doing enough in your business. I can actually tell you that. Excuse me, if you're not getting rejections, you didn't ask enough people. If you go through a week where every single person you spoke to said yes, you didn't talk to enough people because there should have been a no in there, right? Get comfortable with failure because failure is just feedback. It's just a lesson. It teaches you what not to do, and it gives you ideas of what to do better in the future. And to go along with that, you want to approach everything as an experiment. So if you're doing Facebook ads, throw $5 at it and say, okay, let's see how this works. Let's try it, okay? Because in the trying, you're going to get knowledge. Now, here's a critical thing. In order to embrace failure, you have to release your emotional attachment to the outcome. That means you have to be okay with things not going the way you want them to. I always use this analogy. I'm afraid of flying. I hate to fly. I get on planes all the time. Why? Because I am not attached to the outcome. I'm okay if I die. I'm okay if we crash land. I'm okay if we land safely. I'm okay with all possible outcomes. I have no emotional attachment to anything other than what's supposed to happen happening. Does that make sense? So when it comes to inviting someone, or let me put this in context of leadership. When it comes to you reaching out to one of your team members who's been lost, like you're that stray sheep, that you're trying to see if he or she is in the 70%, and you're looking at, I need one more person to get my diamond back. I need one more person to hold rank. If you could approach those conversations as, I'm just here to throw out an opportunity for this person to come back into the fold. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine. Somebody else will behind them. If you could approach it that way, then it's not so scary. But when you approach it from this place of desperation of like, I need this person to get a challenge pack, or I need this person to get their diamond back. I need this person to hold. Like, why can't they find one more person with 50 PV? Can't they just place an order? Like, all those crazy things. I know y'all, somebody's laughing right now. Like, yes, this is true. This actually happens. These are the conversations that you have with yourself. Get comfortable with that not working out. Get comfortable with the fact that you're going to have some conversations with some of your so-called leaders who are not really leaders at all, and you invited them to the party by mistake, and it's okay for you to take your invitation back and kick them out the party gently and politely, and just let them know this might not be the right business for you. That just scared the life out of someone. If that just scared the life out of you, let me know in the comments. Me saying it's okay for you to tell someone on your team this might not be the right business for you. Oh, somebody got scared, even again when I said it. Yeah, that's scary, because I get what that represents on your ladder, on your leadership ladder. That represents one more person you have to find. But do you trust that with this knowledge that you have, whether it's a newfound knowledge that you've acquired today, or the reintroduction of this knowledge, the reteaching of this, do you trust yourself that now, knowing and re-knowing what we're covering today, you could actually go out there and bring the right person to the party? Can you trust yourself and release your emotional attachment to the outcome that now you could go out there and you're going to bring back not one, but two people in the place of that one person? Because let me tell you something really, really interesting about space and energy and all that metaphysic craziness. If you want to bring more quality people into your life, you have to clear out the less than the low quality people. Does that make sense? I hate to call anybody low quality, but you need to clear out the people who are not working up to capacity, because it's your time and your energy that you're investing. And you need to invest your time and energy into people who are going to energize you in return, right? Like these calls for me right now, these are life. I was a little tired earlier today, but your energy is energizing me. We could bring out 1,000 more people onto this call right now and I'll be good, because this is the right energy. The right people came to this party tonight. So congratulate yourself. And then the final step in the solution to not trusting yourself is to let go and let everyone on your team have a chance to succeed or fail and learn some key lessons. Sometimes, and I see this a lot, we feel responsible for the success of others. It actually got quiet. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here because, or can I? Uh-oh. All right, I guess I can't stop sharing my screen. For some crazy reason, my computer's locked up. But sometimes, I want you to hear this on this one. This is important too. Sometimes we feel that we're responsible for other people's success. And so you're not showing up as a leader because someone on your team isn't getting results. And you feel like that's something that you didn't do. That's something that you did wrong. There was some iniquity in you as a leader. That's not true. That's not true at all. Your job as a leader is to present an opportunity. Your job as a leader is to present training. And then above and beyond that, that's on them. You are not responsible for other people's results. You're not responsible if they take action or they don't take action. That's on them. Your job is simply to provide the path. Your job is to be the example. And then you let go. You let go and you let them do it. And a great way to do this is to have the conversation in your getting started right calls when you bring on a new coach. And if you have some coaches that are a little stagnant, then you have a team call. And this is what you say. I want you to understand the expectations of being part of this team and what you can and what this business can be for you. And then you tell them the benefits of the business, you tell them the mission of the team, you do all that, and then you say this very important thing. I want you to understand that right now, in this moment, I am now transferring the responsibility for your results in this business over to you. And what I mean by that is I'm committed to showing up for you for our team calls. I'm committed to providing training for you. I'm committed to giving you tough love and telling you to go look in FAQ when you ask me a question that I've already answered 4 times. I'm committed to empowering you to be a true leader and to tell you, go Google that. Don't ask me those silly questions. And in turn, you accept responsibility for your actions and for your potential in this business. And then you ask them, do you accept the responsibility for your success, for your results? And they're going to say yes, duh. Everybody says yes. And then when they don't live up to that, that's when you go back and you hit them with, where is it? With the tough love, right? Where you stop trying, number 2, right there on your screen, where you stop trying to be everyone's best friend. You hit them with the tough love. And then you say to them, hey, remember when I transferred responsibility over to you in your business? When we had that leadership conversation, where are you taking responsibility? Help me. Where did I let you down so that I can take responsibility? Let's figure this out together. Oh my goodness, somebody just dropped the mic on that, right? That just made so much sense. Someone was just released right now. And I'm glad. I'm glad that you were able to let that monkey off your back, because you should not be hanging on to other people's results. When people ask me, do you have a money back guarantee for your one-on-one coaching? Hell no, I don't. Because I can't guarantee that you're going to do the work. I can't guarantee that you're going to show up. I can guarantee that I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you everything. And if you do everything that you said you were going to do and I did everything I said I was going to do and that didn't work, guess what? I'm going to bring you as a guest to work with my coach who I paid $30,000 a year to work with. And let's see what he has to say. I'm going to get you all the help, right? That's when you could say to someone, hold on, this didn't work for you. You did everything right and I did everything right. Let's go to the upline. Let's go to Brandy. Let's go to Mindy. Let's figure this out, because that's what a team is all about. Hope this is resonating. Okay, now, last one. We're coming to the home stretch, and I just want to take a moment to really congratulate you if you're still with me. Thank you for your endurance. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for caring so much about your business that you are still here. You're taking notes. You're ever present. You got your everything else on silent. You're telling people in the background, shush, 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 because I'm paying attention. Thank you. You are a leader. You are impressionable, you are magnetic, you are charismatic, and I receive and feel your energy. So thank you so much. So let's bring this into let's try to put a little bow on this. So the solution to shiny object syndrome is to know I use the word clients, but this could be your coach, your challenger. For the sake of leadership, know your coaches. What's their personalities? Each one of your coaches has a different personality. They have a different love language. They have a different English language. You might be speaking English and you are still not speaking the same language. I know if you have a spouse, you know what I'm talking about. Where, I'll give you an example. My husband asked me today, he said, in talking with your clients, how did that make you feel? Did anything come up about us? Well, I heard that question. What he was really asking me was, in talking to your clients, is that making you second guess your decision to give me a second chance? In talking to your clients, does that make you question whether or not you want to be with me? 2 different questions, right? So I clarified for him. I said, well, why don't you ask me what you're really trying to ask me, right? Can you really talk to your coaches in their language? Can you ask them questions that they really understand what you're asking of them? Can you give them an action plan that they truly know how to execute and implement? Or are you trying to let them be mind readers and intuit what you're trying to say? Next step, know your people, right? What drives them? What motivates them? Because some people are motivated by money. Some people, if you try to dangle money as a motivator, it turns them off. So what are the drivers? Know your products, the benefits and the features of your products and services. Because if you know that stuff like the back of your hand, if you know the benefits and the features, then you can teach your team the benefits and the features at the highest level. And I should add, know your business. I had a conversation the other day with a coach, and I said, well, what's your PV looking like? Like, what's your team PV overall? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I said, well, who are your highest performers? I don't know. I said, okay, well, if you wanted to double your income this month, how much PV would you need? How much team volume would you need to generate that? Like, what action steps? What would you need? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, whoa. You don't know the numbers that you need to hit to double your income? Then you don't know your business. And if you don't know your business, well, then no wonder your team is confused. So if any of you don't know your products and your services, both the benefits and the features, and if you don't know how to crunch the numbers in your business to hit your goals, then reach out to your upline ASAP. ASAP. First order of business, first action step. Even before you have clarity of vision and all that, you're going to reach out to your upline and say, hey, can you teach me the numbers of this business? Can you teach me how to hit my financial benchmark, if the money is important to you, right? If that's your benchmark. And actually, even if it's not, you actually need to know that, because there's probably someone on your team who that's what it is for them. It's the money. And you need to be able to break that down. And then you say, can we schedule a call? And then in the time between when they say yes and when you schedule the call, that's when you work on your vision and your mission. So then you could show up to the call prepared. Make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So bottom line is that before you can fix the business, you have to fix the person running the business. Before you can be a leader, you first have to become a leader yourself. And that's why I wanted to give you these foundational principles. That's why I wanted to share this with you, because I want to make sure that you understand that this work starts with you. I'm going to pop over. Okay, I'm talking direct. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's a great question. What if you work tirelessly to succeed and perhaps realize that you are the one that perhaps should step away from the business? Well, then maybe you should step away from the business, Jennifer Crawford. Because here's the thing. Actually, wait. Ooh, Jennifer, you almost got me. Let me take a step back. You've worked tirelessly to succeed. First question, have you succeeded? And if you haven't, what's missing? Like, why do you think you haven't succeeded? Do you not love the business? Are you not passionate about the business? I want to hear more of your story, Jennifer. And let me tell you why. Because if you're not passionate about the business, if you really think this business is just not for you, you don't like running challenge groups, you don't like hosting team calls, you don't like any aspect of being a Beachbody coach, then maybe it's not the right business for you. And by staying and pseudo leading a team, you're doing the people underneath you, the coaches underneath you, you're doing them a disservice, because they need a strong leader. They need someone who is passionate and on fire about the business. They need someone who believes in this so much that they're willing to look like a fool, that they're willing to keep failing until they get it right. So I need to know more, Jennifer, before I give you a definitive, yeah, sure, quit. Alicia says, can I hire you? Everything you're saying is so me. Yes, Alicia. At the end of this, I'll show you how to get a freebie from me. And then from that freebie, I'll send you details on how you can work with me. Let's see. That's how I feel about my challengers, but I can't. Okay, I get that. Let's see. Heather says she feels completely responsible. I get it. Claire Jones asks, if they aren't the right person, is it worth the tough love if we invited the wrong people? That is your judgment call, Claire. And here's what I mean. If they're not the right person, if you don't enjoy having them on your team, then why give them the tough love? I mean, you could, right? As a last ditch effort, you could have the conversation with them and say like, hey, you're not showing up. What do I need to, just have that tough love conversation and then say, and I'm not going to have these conversations with you anymore. Now is where I draw a line in the sand, and you have to decide if you want to do this. And if you want to do this, awesome. You're welcome to attend team trainings. You're welcome to participate in all the challenges. But if you don't, then that's cool too. Just let me know what you decide, or don't let me know. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I'm drawing a line in the sand, and now I'm giving the ownership to you. Okay, I'm just looking up for, I hope that helped. If it didn't, keep asking questions. Let's see. So I realized, Adriana says, so I realized I signed up the wrong people and need working coaches. Just wondering what to do with the discount coaches. Keep them. I mean, they're still adding to your PV. They obviously like the Shakeology. Some people want to be discount coaches just for the discount. Let them hang out there. I'm talking about, when I talk about letting go of people, I'm talking about the people that keep draining you and taking time and attention away from you, but not adding anything positive to your team culture, to your team environment. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm looking for more questions. Heather says, these are the conversation I'm afraid to have. Heather, listen, sister, I get it. You're afraid to have these conversations, but these are the conversations that are going to transform your business. So if you're afraid to have these conversations, then you are afraid of the massive success that is waiting for you. Because on the other side of these conversations is where the growth is waiting for you. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for questions. All right, I don't see any more up there. Let me scroll back down and make sure. Scroll back down and make sure that we, okay. If the vibes are there and you enjoy the person, okay, cool. That was for Claire. Okay, Adriana says, so this first month I've stepped up consistently, 20 invites to challenge groups a day, 5 invites to coaching a day, 5 starting conversations. Okay, was there more to that? Brittany says, I just started today. What is PV? Brittany, personal volume. So here's the kicker, right? Like, I'm not a Beachbody coach. I just work with you guys. If I know your business better than you know your business, what does that tell you? Well, you're new, so I don't want to make you feel like I got it wrong, but I'm just saying, right, that's a goal, to know as much about your business as you possibly can. All right, so let me give you some action steps, and then actually the first action step, I know some of you have to leave, is I have created a leadership mindset audit workbook. So this is to check and see where your mindset is at in terms of leadership. It's going to walk you through some very powerful questions. For those of you that said you want to work with me, if you want to work with me, you have to complete this workbook first, because I'm going to ask you, did you do the audit? Let me see where you're at. And you can get that by texting the phrase BB workbook to the number 44222. So go ahead and grab your phone. This is totally free. I think it's like 9 pages, but it goes by quickly. If you were at the Phoenix Super Saturday, this was the workbook that I offered you there as well. So if you didn't grab it then, grab it now. You're going to text the phrase BB workbook. It's right there to the left of your screen, to the number 44222. So this is going to help you identify the gaps that I really couldn't identify for you right now, that we just couldn't get into, because there's just so much I have to share with you. So I'm going to leave that up one more minute, and then I'm going to give you some more action steps. So stick with me. So screenshot right now, take a picture, text the phrase BB workbook to the number 44222 to get your free workbook. All right, now, action steps. Number one, these are actually interchangeable, sorry. Number one is actually create a vision for your team. Number two is get to know your people, right? Personality tests, figure out their love languages. Oh, a bunch of you are already getting that. Great. I love fast action takers. Like, amazing, amazing. Yes, again. So if you want that workbook, BB workbook 44222, that's going to come to you. It should get there within the hour. So you're going to create a vision for your team, a mission statement. I want you to get detailed and specific. Go there. Ask yourself the tough questions. Get in it. The next thing you're going to do, get to know your people. Have them take some personality tests, the Myers-Briggs test, the How to Fascinate test by Sally Hogshead, the Danny Johnson GEMS test. I love the GEMS. It's such an easy way to categorize people. The next action step that I want you to do is I want you to set your intention for the next 90 days. What are you going to achieve? I want you to get super specific and decisive. Set that intention, and then I want you to show up with energy and enthusiasm. You're the leader. You set the tone. How you show up, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So show up for this intention that you're setting with energy and enthusiasm and a level of commitment and self-trust to yourself that like never before. Show up for your, man, if you do nothing else, please commit to yourself that you are so worthy, you are so important, you are so valuable. Your dreams and your goals and your vision are so divine that it's worth setting that intention and showing up with energy. And then the fourth action step, which we didn't get to really talk about, is delegating ownership to your team members. And by that, I mean transferring the responsibility of their results over to them. We touched upon that briefly, but I want to just really reiterate that. If you haven't had that conversation, and especially if you were one of the ones saying that's me, I feel so responsible, this is your opportunity to step as a leader and give them ownership. Transfer that responsibility back to them. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Again, if you want that workbook, text the phrase BB workbook to the number 44222 right there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to open it up for questions. Vanessa says she got a response that says invalid keyword. Did you put it all together? Did anybody else get that response? Because I see a bunch of you are still successfully getting it. Try it again. BB workbook to the number 44222. Let me see. I'll put that 44222. BB workbook. Okay, so people are saying that they got their workbook. Vanessa, if you're having trouble, just email me at info@rachelluna.biz. So, all right, yeah, it's gonna ask you for your email address, guys. Once you put your email address, it should get you the workbook. And Cassie says she already got the workbook. So now, okay, here comes a question. Great, awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Catherine and Arlen. Did I say that right? Arlen, that's a beautiful name. You're pretty too, sweetie. And FYI, I apologize that the email where you get the workbook says that you were at Super Saturday. I didn't know that I was gonna be able to offer you a workbook, so I didn't change that email, but I'll fix it and you'll get a very personalized email sequence from me after that. So I sent my email. Okay, so because so many of you are opting in at the same time, There might be a little bit of a delay. If you don't get it within the next 30 minutes, email us at info@rachelluna.biz and we will make sure that you get it. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions. Adriana says, you said to take failure as an experiment to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So how do you reassess and figure out what to do? I've watched videos, read books, and I'm showing up. That's such a great question. So first of all, look, every individual action has its own set of abilities to reassess and figure out what to do. So tell me what's not working. And if you don't have a Rachel in your life, this is a great question to bring up to your upline and to say, look, here's what I've done. And I really encourage you, if you're going to ask your upline for support, show them screenshots of your invitation conversations. Show them screenshots of the email that you send when you follow up. Send them voice messages of how you responded if you had a phone conversation with someone, because it's in looking at the delivery and in looking at how you're showing up that we can see where things are going wrong. Does that make sense, Adriana? Okay. Okay, yeah, you have to put it all together. It's BB workbook. So Adriana, feel free to give me more, to like tell me more. I'm happy to coach you, and I'm happy to spend some time coaching anybody on the call that like wants to have a breakthrough. I'm here for you. I truly mean it when I say like, you have me 100%. I am here for you. So, okay, Adriana says, yes, that makes sense. Beautiful, beautiful. Quick side note, where I work, well, where I have my office, it's Taco Tuesday, and they gave me a margarita. How sweet of them, right? But I promise I haven't been drinking until right now. I just took my first little sip. Okay. This is my first month really being consistent with inviting. Oh, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. So this is your first month being really consistent. Just like planting a tree or a fruit, the work that you do today, you will probably see the results weeks from now. One of my mentors, Todd Herman, says, you'll see the results of the work you do today in 90 days. So if in 90 days you're not where you want to be, you can directly trace it back to the actions you didn't take 3 months prior. So Adriana, it might just be that you haven't given yourself enough time. Now, if you've been very consistent with inviting, are you not getting responses? Are you getting responses but objections? Tell me more. Brittany McNally, am I saying that right? Brittany says, day one of a new business, what is your best advice? Oh my gosh, girl, I could go on, but I would say number one, take initiative to learn as much as you can about your business. If you have a question, Google it, YouTube it, look for the answers first before you go to your upline. That's true leadership. Decide right now, Brittany, that you are a leader, whether you've gotten results or not. Decide right now that you know that this business works, even if you haven't made $1. And you know why you know this business works and why I know this business works? Because, hello, there's so many other coaches making a beautiful living. Brandy Botts, Mindy Wonder, Andrew Crowder, all the top 10 coaches. It works. This business has potential. You need to own that from right now. And you need to make sure that you really position yourself right now as the authority, as the expert. You might not feel like that, but that's how you need to show up. You need to roll up in here with, hey, I'm the expert, and if I don't know the answer, I'm going to figure out the answer. I'll find out, and I'll get back to you. Thank you, Cassie. Thanks for joining. Can't wait to see you next week, too. Brittany, does that make sense? Right? You're the expert. And here's how I like to tell people. Experts don't know it all. They just know a lot. So if you don't feel like you know a lot yet, get educated. And as you're going on this path, when you're enrolling people into your vision, say, look, I'm just getting started out. Let's do this together, because as a team, we can accomplish so much more. And guess what? I know this works because my upline is doing phenomenal. Her upline is doing phenomenal. Even if your direct upline isn't doing good, there's somebody at the head of that upline, right? So you can just look at other people's success stories and say, I know it worked because it worked for them. And if it worked for them, why not me? Make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, Victoria says, I am inspiring, so quote unquote, so many people. I get messages from people saying I'm inspiring them, but they are not taking action to either start on a program themselves or even join as a coach. Okay, Victoria, did I call you Vanessa? Victoria, let me ask you this. In the inspiring, are you also giving them a clear call to action? In the inspiring, are you inspiring them in a way that they see it's possible for them? Because here's the thing. Oprah Winfrey is inspiring, and yet there are a billion people who feel they will never be able to be like Oprah, but she's inspiring. Meanwhile, Brandy Botts is inspiring, but she's also inspiring people to believe that they can achieve what she has achieved. So how are you inspiring them is my first question. And secondly, in that inspiring of them, are you giving them clear invitations? Are you, when they say you're so inspiring, are you challenging them and saying, awesome, if I could do this, you could do this too. What's stopping you? Why aren't you joining me? Why aren't you starting a program? Because obviously you see that I'm inspiring and you like it. What's stopping you? Are you having those conversations? I need to know. Is it Devin or Devon? Says, started seeing a lot more success when I went into inviting and conversations with zero expectations. Yes, such a key. Brittany says, I would strive to empower rather just inspire. Whatever. Those are just semantics now, Brittany. Inspire, empower. You could pick any word you want under the sun. The real question is, are they seeing what you're doing as a possibility for themselves? And are you asking them to join you in a very clear, specific way? Are you calling them out on the fact that they're not joining you? That's what I want to know. Katrina is asking, Devin or Devon, I hate mispronouncing people's names, but how are you helping people? Are you giving free groups or stuff like meal plans? Katrina, I love that you asked that question, but let me tell you right now, that too, semantics. And I see, Katrina, that you are looking for that, what's that one thing that if I started doing, it would change everything? It's not a one thing. It's consistency. It's a series of actions that you take. It's showing up to help people in the way that you can. Because Devin might be an expert at meal plans, and then you go try to do meal plans, but that's not what you're excited about. That's not what you love to do. So now you're doing something because somebody else is doing it. Now you're imitating because you think that's the answer. Really, Katrina, how do you love to help people? How do you want to show up for other people? How do you want to inspire and empower and motivate, or whatever adjective you want? That's the real question. That is what's going to draw your tribe to you. When you show up to do for people the work that inspires you, that lights you up, that makes you happy. Because if you don't like doing meal plans, and that's the way Devin did it, then you're going to be miserable. Let's see. So Victoria says, okay, something like simple like that. I'm not being that straightforward. Well, girl, you're waiting for people to come to you. That will give you some results. That will give you some success. Some people will come. There is some truth to that. If you build it, they will come mentality, but that's not going to get you the results you really want. That's not going to get you the empire, the mini empire, the business, the freedom that you want. You got to go out and get it. Like Les Brown says, you got to be hungry, right? You got to go out there and bring them in. Let's see. And then Victoria says, I say yes, I am creating a call to action, but based on this comment, yep, check yourself. Melissa Hicks says, if they say no because of, okay, so Melissa Hicks is giving some great advice on overcoming the money objection. Devin says, Katrina, meal plans, fitness tips, workouts, I have made anything I can share for free. Beautiful. Let me see. How do you go about finding your personal niche? Brittany, great question. That comes from working with everyone and anyone in the beginning. Unless you have a very clear vision of who you want to work with and why you want to work with that person or that type of person, your niche actually develops the more time you spend talking to people, the more invitations you make, and then you start to hear their objections. There are some objections where the people are like really hopeless and they're very negative. And then there are some objections where you could hear that there's like this little bit of hope, but they just don't see it's possible, right? So that kind of person might be someone that you want in your niche. And then you start asking that person more questions to learn about their lifestyle and what motivates them and what are their struggles. So it's really in having conversations and in taking action. Interested but never purchased and believe, yeah, okay. Oh, well, I said it two different ways. Devon, I think it's Devon. Okay, Vanessa says, I have a mental block. I've always wanted to work with you since I've worked briefly in groups with you. I haven't hit Success Club for 2 months in a row and no recruits. I know it's a mindset. But how can I get over this and feel joy to work the biz? How can I feel it again? I feel like this is affecting me mentally and emotionally. Vanessa, the word that you used over and over and over again is the exact reason why you are stuck. You are so caught up in the feelings. You are chasing a feeling. And the thing with feelings is that that's just a temporary state of emotion, right? Your feelings are like roller coasters. I don't always feel like coaching clients. I know that feels so, it feels wrong for me to say that out loud, but I don't always feel like coaching people. Some days I just feel like doing nothing. Some days I just feel like Netflix and chill. I don't always feel like creating content, but I know that when I show up and when I create content, it drives me closer towards my goal of impacting 100,000 people over the next 10 years. Very clear. I could go into like impacting them how, but so what is your mental block? Because you said I have a mental block. What's the block? What do you think it is? Mental block here too. Olivia Castro, what is the mental block? Jessica Moss says, I'm so stuck in the mindset that things need to happen in a certain way and getting out of that is such a oh my goodness, when I get some momentum from a post going, I don't know where to go from there. Okay, Jessica, I love that you said that. I get stuck in the mindset that things need to happen in a certain way. Girlfriend, you're not leaving room for the magic. You're not leaving room for God or source or who. Can we just get an agreement that when I say God, I mean whoever you believe in? Now, if you don't believe in anyone, I don't know what to tell you about that. Find something to believe in, right? We only hope. But you're not leaving room for God to bring you about a different way. And sometimes that different way is the better way, right? So if you say, I want to be a 5-star diamond coach, and the only way that's going to happen is by me inviting 30 people a day, 7 days a week, well, are you really creating the life of freedom that you say you want, that you think you're going to have when you become a 5-star diamond coach? No, because now you have no life. But what if it were easy? What if You could actually achieve all your goals in the easiest way possible and in ways you couldn't even imagine. Just by that very thought, Jessica, you are closing and rejecting so many other possibilities for your future, for your business, for your life. That's kind of sad, girl. I'm gonna need you to check yourself. And I'll share a personal story. So I had this goal that I was gonna have $100,000 quarter. And I said I was gonna have this $100,000 quarter through, through this one particular program launch, right? And guess what? That didn't happen. I think we did like 64,000. And then I said, well, I really thought that I was gonna have this $100,000 quarter, but I guess not. I didn't say it's not gonna happen. I just said, well, I don't know what to do about this. Like, I'm just gonna give it up. Like, I'm gonna give it up to you and let's just see where the chips fall. Within 2 weeks, I got an opportunity to promote another program, and that brought me in an additional $53,000. So in that quarter, I made more than $100,000. And it was because I was open to that money coming in from other ways. Like, yeah, I had a goal that this one particular program was going to do it. But when that program didn't do it, I didn't say, well, there goes that goal. I said, well, I wanted to do that. Now what? Where's this other $40,000 going to come from? And because I was open, $53,000 came. It was more than $53,000 came in, right? So for you, can you be open to the possibility that things can happen for you in some other way? Let's see. Hold on, I want to just. Okay. Okay, there we go. To get over my mental blocks. Okay, great. Katrina says, I'm getting responses, but they're rejections. And I've tried adding value for free, so I'm at a loss. My sponsor coach is telling me I'm doing nothing wrong, but I'm not seeing results, so something must be missing. Katrina, it might be your mindset and the energy to which you're approaching. Do you feel defeated? Do you feel like nothing you do is going to work? Because if that's the thought, then that's the energy and the vibration from which you're working. And so when you approach people, if your subconscious mind is already waiting for them to reject you, then that energy is going out there. And I know for some of you that don't believe in energy, this is kind of like a mind mess up, but I'm just telling you what I know works, right? From 10 years of experience, doing this for 10 years, this is the truth of it, is that if you approach the call already expecting a rejection, already feeling defeated, already feeling like what you have is not enough, so you have to keep throwing things at it, they are going to feel that it's not enough. So Katrina, it's your mindset, and it is how you think of things. Shakti says that was a huge realization. She was leaving no room for miracles. Oh, so good. Olivia says, this is hard, but my mental block is that I've always been told I can't, regardless of my daily affirmations. I haven't been able to break down my own wall, almost like no belief in myself. So Olivia, when you say I've always been told I can't, is that you've been telling yourself that you can't, or other people told you you can't do that in whatever capacity, and so now that's the dialogue that's in your head. Give me a little bit of clarity and let's work through this. Adriana says, that's good. I'm so open. Awesome. Jessica says, this video is going to be saved for quick access. That's awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Others. So others have told you that you can't. Olivia, when was the first time that you can remember someone telling you that you can't do something? Anna says, how do we sign up with you? I'm really interested. You're amazing. Thank you, Anna. Anna, if you signed up for the workbook, you're going to get, the workbook is going to come. You're going to get an automated email that says something about Super Saturday, and I apologize for that. But on Friday, you'll get another email telling you how you can work with me and how you can join my next group coaching program, okay? Thank you for asking. Olivia, I'm waiting. Tell me, when is your first memory of someone telling you that you can't do something? I hope to hear from you, and I would love to work with you. I'm going to take a little sip of water quickly. Olivia, while I'm waiting for you, I'm going to read. Jennifer Crawford says, for me, I need to make this business work, and I don't want to have to step away. I'm so grateful for your oral advice. I'm grateful that you're here, Jennifer. Let me give you a little mindset shift. When you say, I need to make this business work, you are operating from a place of desperation. Nothing good comes from being desperate, baby. So let's reframe. And it's not that I need to make this work. It is, I am making this work because I love the work that I do. I'm making this business work no matter what, because of the potential it has to create the freedom for my family, because of the potential I have to help other people, whatever is the reason. But it's not, I need to make this work. It's, I am making this work. Every single day, I'm making this work for me and on my terms. There's no need. You don't need to make this business work. And let me tell you why, Jennifer. Because if your mission, whatever your mission is, it's going to be accomplished by any means necessary. Beachbody is just the vehicle for you right now. Do you get that? Beachbody is just the vehicle to get you to that vision, to that mission, to that purpose. If this doesn't work, or if you decide this doesn't work, there's something else out there that's going to get you there. And I need you to hold on to that. I need you to really believe that. Our dreams and our visions and our ambitions, they are not in us for no reason. Okay. Katrina says, thank you. I've been feeling defeated since about mid-December, so that's probably it. Need more PD. Katrina, I hear, I'm just picking this up, and I could be totally wrong, but you are really living in the past. You're living in all the things that didn't happen yesterday, last year, the last quarter. And I want to encourage you to shift your perspective and your mindset and look at this moment being your fresh, clean slate. And every day, you only have to operate in this moment. You don't have to think about the invitations you made yesterday. You don't have to think about the opt-ins or freemiums or workout plans that you're going to create tomorrow. You just have to live in this present moment. And what are the beliefs that you're holding in this present moment? Do you believe that in this present moment, you have everything you need to be successful? Do you believe that in this present moment, you are fully present and absorbing everything that is said, and that the knowledge that you've gained here tonight is just empowering you to go out and do that work? What do you believe in this present moment? And if you just approached, like if we approached every day of our life just moment to moment, we set ourselves free. But we don't do that. We live in the past, we live in the future, we live anywhere but in this moment. And in this moment is where the magic happens. In this moment is where we get closer to our dreams and our visions. Stephanie says, that's so good. I've been very I need lately when it comes to my business. Thanks for that, of course. Olivia says, I don't even know where to begin. Memory loss, no joke. I guess it's when I was told that I can't get anywhere in life without going to college, but I didn't have the means or support to go. Okay, so someone told you that you weren't going to get anywhere in life without going to college. And when they said that to you, you took that as truth and gospel. And you've been living your life this entire time as someone who will never achieve anything because you didn't go to college. Girlfriend, not only are some of the most successful people who never went to college or who didn't graduate college, but I can tell you as someone who has a college degree, I don't use anything except for marginal cost, right? The knowledge of what marginal cost is from my business degree from Penn State. Not a damn thing. Nothing I learned from the Smeal College of Business has helped me with my business. Ain't that something? So I'm telling you a different story. I'm telling you, you don't need a college degree to be successful. I know people that have 4 master's degrees and PhDs, and they are miserable and they're not successful because success isn't just about money. It's about contentment and joy and passion and living a life that is vibrant and living a life where you have freedom and choice and opportunity. And do you know that there are some people in my family that don't make a lot of money? They're like the most free people. They're the happiest people I know. I think they're more successful than I am in some regards because they're just so damn carefree, right? So what story going forward after tonight, at this moment, are you going to tell yourself? Because if you think a college degree is going to make a difference, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. It won't make a difference because you'll get that piece of paper for the wrong reasons. And Olivia says, I don't want to go to college either. That's the thing. But it ties into people telling me I will never have a true purpose. You don't know your purpose? You haven't figured that out? Let me tell you something that I learned or that I believe. I don't believe we have one life purpose. I believe that we have seasonal purpose. And so for this season, my purpose is to do group coaching. Because in this season, I'm committed to helping as many people as I can in as intimate environment as I can create. That's my seasonal purpose. My seasonal purpose last season was taking the entire month off of December to be with my children and like to really show up for them. That was my purpose in that moment. And our life purpose is the sum of every seasonal purpose we've accomplished, right? Your life purpose is the sum. It's the culmination of everything you've ever done, every single day that you've done with purpose and intention and passion and drive. Does that make sense? Let's see. Catherine says, any advice on building confidence? I'm chicken to talk about BB much. Catherine, confidence comes with action and knowledge. So you're either not taking enough action or you don't know enough or you feel you don't know enough. Truly. Like I know you're probably thinking like, well, that doesn't help. But that like down and dirty, nitty gritty, your confidence is going to come when you take action, when you have those small victories that we talked about. So when you say I'm chicken to talk about Beachbody, what are you scared of? Are you afraid that they're going to reject you? Are you afraid that they are going to think that you're bothering them? Right? Because now what's happening is your ego is getting in the way. If any of what I just said is true, if you're afraid that you're going to be rejected, if you're afraid that you're going to look like a fool, if you're afraid that you're going to be bothering them, that's your ego. You're making it about you. And it's not about you. It's about them. It's about helping them. Right? So for example, earlier today, when you guys saw me all covered up like this, right? I could have had ego and been like, well, I don't want to cover up because I want to make sure that I look, prim and proper. But no, I don't care what I look like because it's not about me. It's about you. I have to deliver this message for you. I got to be here for you. I have to listen to the things that you're not saying. I'm okay to look like a fool all day, every day. If it's helping people, sign me up. So what is your fear, Catherine? Brittany says, oh my goodness, I had no idea that this belief has been holding me back. Oh, awesome. Great, great, great. Love it, love it, love it. Victoria says, my dream was to go to college, have the corner office, and till I realized my corner office was a cube and the view was a parking lot. Yes, girl. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking for questions. Okay, Captain Sally Poos. I love that name. You like the seasonal purpose? Good. I'm glad. Thank you, Heather, for listening and for being receptive to what I had to say. Olivia says, I'm crying, no joke. Do I just have a crappy surrounding? I think it's the negativity around me that I need to shut out. I love being a Beachbody coach. It has changed my life. Well, girlfriend, yes, if you're around negative people, then that's going to affect it. Is this in your home? Is it negative people in your home? Are you married? Do you have a significant other? Does your significant other not believe in you? Like, who's telling you? Who's making you feel this way? Because here's my advice on that. And this is advice. This is not consulting. This is not coaching. This is just my straight up own personal advice. Don't talk to people about your dreams and goals and ambition who are not your biggest cheerleaders. If they don't believe in you the way that you need to believe in yourself for your dream to come to fruition, don't talk about it with them. There are some people that I don't talk about anything, and some people in my family that I don't talk about anything that has to do with my business, nothing. I talk to them about the weather, the sports, like stuff they're interested in, and I say nothing about me because I know the minute I share my big visions, they may not say anything, but they'll do one of these, that's nice. And you know they don't mean that's nice. You know they're being fake. Some of them will actually hit me off with, really? You think you're going to be able to do that? Yeah, I do think I'm going to be able to do that, right? Don't engage. So you said your boss is the negativity? I'm going to need, haters are going to hate. All right, just for next week, right? When we get on the call next week and we get to this part where I'm coaching you, give me as much detail as possible. That's going to help this move things along. Because now, Olivia, you left me with my boss laughing my ass off. Your boss, what? Help me help you. Thank you, Devon. I can't wait to see you next week. Okay, so your boss is negative. Tune her out. Tune him or her out. Hear what they have to say and say, yes, great, best lesson I ever learned, how to get along with my mom, right? I love my mom. She has so many opinions. Oh my God. This is my mom. Why must you broadcast everything that you do? Do you have to talk about your money? Why do you do those posts talking about the children? Excuse me. Can you stop posting about this? Can you stop doing that? This is my mom. At least once a week. You know what I say? Every time. Oh, you're right, Mom. I'm sorry. I didn't think of it that way. I'll remember that next time. And then I don't remember that next time. I just say, yes, ma'am. And I shake my head and I smile and I let whatever she has to say go in one ear and out the other ear. Why? Because I know, like, she's just setting her ways, right? She can't help herself. Your boss is negative. Your boss can't help him or herself. Just smile, pray for them, say, yeah, you're right. And just know that they're wrong. That's it. I don't know why you would take someone else's story as the truth and the guiding principles for your life. This is insanity to me. That I'm going to live my life based on what some clown is telling me about me. You don't know me. Your boss doesn't know you. Your boss doesn't know that you were chosen for this dream of yours. Your boss doesn't know your potential. Your boss doesn't know what's hiding in. Man, boss, you better. Thank you, boss. Have a great day. That's how I would approach it. It sucks because she's also a friend outside of work. Is she really a friend, though? I don't really think this person is your friend. She comments on my stuff and makes fun of me. And then I have to be cautious of what I post, etc. Like, why? If she's making fun of you, I would call her out and say, you're supposed to be my friend. Why are you making fun of me? What kind of a friend is that? Like, call her out. I mean, call her out or don't pay attention to her. Like, you have a choice to make. delete her. All right, Brandy, are you still with us? I know Brandy says she might have to jump off. Uh-oh. Let me see. All right, so I guess Brandy's gone. We're at about 2 hours. Yes, okay, cool. So Brandy just messaged me. She did have to leave. So I want to wrap it up right now because we're at the 2-hour mark. What I want to leave you with this evening is a spirit of leadership. I really want you to go back through and reverberate on some of the things that we talked about. I see some more questions coming in. I'm going to get to you guys in a second. But what I would love to see you do is I'd love to see you get really, really clear with this vision, with this mission that you have. And I'd love, love, love to see you complete that leadership mindset audit and identify where your shortcomings are as a leader. Because most of this is in your mind. Most of this is you blocking your own self. And you don't have to live in that space, right? So Vanessa says, how can we work more in depth with you? Okay, so one last time, let me do the quick blanket. If you sent a text message with the phrase, all in one word, BB workbook, to the number 44222, I'll write it here in the chat, 44222, that's gonna ask you for your email address. And then when you put in your email address, you're gonna get an automated response and it's gonna say, hey, thank you so much for being at Super Saturday, because this is the workbook that I created when I did this leadership talk at Super Saturday. I promise I'm gonna update the email. You'll get another personalized email from me talking about this call and some of the things we went over in this call. And then on Friday, you're gonna get an email from me that's gonna show you how to work with me in my group coaching call and my group coaching program that's gonna be starting in a couple of weeks, okay? So please, if you got value from this call, I would love for you to go to the Facebook group where Brandy tagged me and just tell me what your biggest takeaway was. Tell me what your aha was. And then if you have a specific request for next week's follow-up session, next week's follow-up session on leadership, I want to hear about that too.